So the thing is, honestly, I mean, anyone who does me, I don't think I would have been a bad architect. Like, I didn't leave that field because I didn't like it. I enjoyed it. I just enjoyed something else more.
So now do you become an architect? So
yes, I do my thesis. I graduate from university in 2009. I'm done. I leave. When I graduate, I'm called to do a small job for this company called Multiple Hauliers. Haulers, those guys, which is part of my side hustles that I used to do when I was in Campo. Architectural visualization. This one now is computer visualization to make them fly through.
Okay.
So that is something I started doing because of the computer. Before I was making physical models, then translated into, because the computer was there, I started making renders, started making walkthroughs. I became known as the guy who does those in JQuat. So I was called by Multiple Hauliers to do that for them.
And so who taught you this?
I teach myself.
Dude, you taught yourself how to do digital walkways.
Literally, by the way, we just pick up the software, curiosity. I'd pick up a software, I'd become obsessed. For the next 1 month, I'm doing nothing. Every waking moment, I'm just on that software. I'm checking what happens if I click this. What happens if I make this, if the sun, put the sun here. What happens if I put it there? If they have tutorials, I watch them. I go online, I teach myself. That's how I taught myself on Photoshop.
And the reason why I'm also saying this, it's not because, it's not like you could YouTube everything. There's not that much
content. At that time, not so much.
You had to go and find them in different spaces.
In fact, most tutorials at that time were reading tutorials, not YouTube tutorials.
Yes.
Like I will go on a website and Google how to put a glass effect on text in Photoshop. Then there comes many tutorials. Then I go into those tutorials. That time, even magazines, graphic magazines will have tutorials.
Yes.
How to put this effect on Photoshop. So I'd go, I read, like, okay, I try it out. I read, I'm like, okay, it's working, step 4, and then I save the tutorial. I think I might still have a folder like that on the way I just used to change them, like prints the whole page as a PDF, I save it. So I learned a lot like that.
So now you start doing this 3D fly through.
Yeah, so I do for them. They gave me a down payment, 50K down payment. I came from the office, and Wahindis, I don't know if this is politically correct to say, but the way they give you cash.
Yes.
So I took that cash, 50K cash, went from the offices in Emba, straight to Tao, went into, is it Ibrahim's, or there was like a small shop near Corner House that used to sell electronics, my flash drives, not Ibrahim's, but it was near Ibrahim's. But Ibrahim's for electronics. Went there, they had the Nikon D40 with an 18-55. I bought it. It was 45K. I bargained. They gave me, I think they gave me at 44K, and they gave me a memory card.
What?
And I went home with 6K left. That Sunday, 5K I took to church. I tithed, I was left with 1K. Broke, but with a camera.
Okay.
And that was my first camera.
Okay. Boss, where had you gotten to that now you are like, I'm buying the camera? Because I've heard your story, and I've heard you say, oh yeah, I think I want to buy a camera. So I can hear the seeds, but what made you just snap and be like, with my next loot, I'm buying a camera?
By the I don't know for sure, but one of the greatest things that made me want to buy a camera was that thing, I can't find black people to use in my designs.
What?
So if the only way is I have to photograph black people and then use them in the designs. That's why I bought a camera. To photograph people, to use them in the designs. So I just thought, if I'm buying a camera, why buy a point and shoot? Just buy a good one.
Wow.
I'd checked, I saw, okay, a DSLR is a good camera. What's the cheapest DSLR? A D40. I bought a D40.
Killing me. Okay, so now you have a camera.
Now I have a camera.
At the same time, you have this side hustle that you have to finish.
Yes. So I bought a camera. I'd finished that job, project, finished it. After I finished it, handed it over. They were happy. They paid me the rest. That one I saved for my wedding. So anyway, because And that time I'd just graduated. I don't have a job yet.
Yeah.
After I was done with that job, I called this lady who I know had a architectural firm because I'd interned there before, or rather I'd done some side work for them. And I asked her, I've graduated, do you have a job? She was like, oh, I didn't know you were graduating this year. I thought it was next year. Yes. Okay, let's meet and talk. So we met at that cafe for an interview. She asked questions, I asked questions. I started in a week. I started working there. So that was the thing. No, I got into, so now I started my job,
Yes.
interior architecture. That was 2009 ending. At the same time, because my chick then and me, we'd been dating a couple of years, and it was just school. We wanted to get married, but school. So it was like I was getting a job, we were saving up for a wedding. We got married in 2010. But before that, one other crucial thing happened, because a friend of mine, Kevo, who we've been talking about, got married 2009 end, like October.
Yeah.
And they didn't have, like most of us, we didn't have much money, so we were saving everywhere.
We didn't have
and
money.
And I'm the only one who had like a DSLR. So they were like, you see, we believe in you, just take the pictures. I was like, I said, okay, I can shoot the wedding, I'll shoot. I'd never even shot before. With that camera, I was just playing. Most of the time we have 5-1 meetings, I'd have the camera, we just take pictures, blah, blah, blah. Not serious pictures.
So, but were you doing your tutorials?
I will take those pictures and then I do, of course, I look at tutorials, how to edit them. That's what I do.
I'm asking, were you doing tutorials on how to take photos?
No, that one, I don't remember. I didn't do tutorials, but I knew Amunga. I just met Amunga because picking up a camera, and he shot Nikon. So because Amunga was a friend, I told these guys, okay, I don't trust myself fully, but I'm willing, so for you guys to save money to shoot this wedding, I can ask Amunga, who's my friend, to be our fail-safe because he knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
They said, sawa. I spoke to Amunga. He was like, okay, because he was doing me a favor, he charged 10K, and I said, you pay him, me, I'm good. So we both shot the wedding. So I was just following his instructions, because at that time, also remember the main thing, I believe at that time the main thing is that I didn't know how to use a camera, but in my head I kind of had ideas of what a good picture should look like.
Exactly. Yeah.
The only other thing is I didn't know how to use the camera, which Amunga helped me with. But in terms of what we were going to shoot, what I think will look nice,
you had the vision.
I think I knew. And working with Amunga, he would be like, yeah, I think that will look nice, shoot it. I shoot. So I did their wedding, I gave them pictures, they were happy with them.
What?
I was like, okay, so photography. Maybe I thought about it, but I didn't really, because the camera went back on the shelf. Because at that time, us guys were planning a wedding, so we were kind of busy.
Yes.
Plus the job. Then after we got married in March of 2010, then there was like when you're getting married like that last year, it's just a flurry of activities. Every weekend you're looking at what, you're doing what. So once we got married, I think that's when I was like, okay, I think now I should probably shoot. The camera is just here. Let me get serious. So I got online, found, I don't know how I found it, somehow. Found this daily shoot. It was called daily. It was a website literally called dailyshoot.com, where every day, I don't know what time, they'd come up with an assignment, just 2 sentences or 1 sentence. Today, photograph something with blue.
Dude.
But every 24 hours. And you have 24 hours to photograph, edit, upload. At that time on Flickr. And then share it on Twitter with the hashtag dailyshoot, say 246. I was wondering, why is this? That's the first time I used. In fact, that's why I joined Twitter, because of that daily shoot. Because I was like, so we have to do this on Twitter, sawa. I got a Twitter account. I was like, because I'm trying to be incognito, if I'm truth slinger, okay, no one will know me. It's like, It's like those days, early days for me, early days of the internet, where I'm like, on the internet, that's not our identity.
Yes.
So I'm going to have this persona on the internet, and then I'm going to have this other one for my real life. So truthling on the internet, Mutua Matheka in real life.
Yeah.
Then I started doing that daily shoot. I did it every day, but then I went further. As opposed to just shooting, I'd shoot a lot, so I had my camera everywhere, at work, everywhere. Over lunch break, I take the camera, I go out to try shoot the assignment. Come back by 2, eat my lunch at the desk, because it was packed lunch. Then, hope you can't hear that. and then after I'm done, jioni, 5, go back home, and I'm still looking for shots. So my head was just thinking photography every time. I'm just looking for a shot. So I did daily shoot, and I was also uploading the images. So I'd upload my favorite image on Flickr, and then I started a WordPress site where I'd have daily shoot and the theme. So I just say that's my entry into blog. I just say, okay, so today the theme was something blue, and these are the shots I shot that I liked but were not the best, and then this was my best. So I'd share maybe 4 shots that I thought had potential.
At this time, you're learning.
Yeah, I'm learning.
Do you know, on the other end, you're looking like you're the superstar.
No, at that time, but I was learning, and I was just doing that because I knew that, look, these photos for now, they suck, but it's fine. I mean, I want them to be online because I want a record of my progress. And I want to look back 10 years later and say, wow, these were the first pictures. And I haven't looked at them in a while. I probably should now. So those, because WordPress is still on, the mutuamatheka.wordpress is still there, and I never took it down even when I got a website, because I was like, I still want that to be
archive.
online.
Yes.
For me, but also for people to see. Who knows, it might change someone. And even now, people still scroll back to my first ever Instagram picture, and they leave a comment to tell me, I've scrolled all this way, and now I believe there is hope. And like, if you came from this to what you are now,
Yeah.
I'm not complaining. It's possible.
I just want to fast forward with one comment. I remember when you would do daily challenges for Kenyans.
Yeah, so that was much later.
I know that's much later, but I'm seeing now the genesis of it, because that's the first time I knew you as I think when Instagram opened. Is when now you do that challenge, because I remember I took a photo of, you said today the challenge is red.
Yeah.
And I didn't have red, but I was wearing red shoes.
Then you took a picture of that.
So I put I put my dog cookies into that shoe so that my dog could eat into the shoe, and I took the photo of that.
I took the photo. Nice. That's
yeah, no, but
a
then
good idea.
that's crazy that you were once a student.
Yeah.
You were once a student. You get?
Of that daily shoot. I still believe it's the best way to learn anything. Like any skill, you want to learn a new thing, force yourself to start and finish it daily.
What?
You want to be good at making videos, make a daily video.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be much. Make it a 1-minute video. For a year. Do that for a year.
Yes, yeah.
There's no way you will not be great at what you do. You might not have the most likes.
Exactly.
But in terms of learning,
Exactly.
you won't have any questions. Let me tell you, once you do that daily, all your questions are all your questions become very specific and based on knowledge. They're not questions of how can I make it as a photographer.
Exactly.
They become very specific. They become questions of, look, I'm trying to shoot a long exposure. How exactly do I do that? Do I make my shutter speed longer, or do I move the camera? Your questions start to become specific because you've tried everything. The person you're asking, you're probably like, I tried this, it didn't work. I tried this. Then they'll tell you, no, it's just the shutter that needs to be longer. But don't it shake? And then I can tell you, no, you need a tripod. Like, I'll try that. Then you go try. You come back like, okay, I tried, but it was still very dark. I tried this. You get, like, for someone who does.
Exactly. Yeah, that is so.
Their questions are very specific because they're not trying to waste your time. They're trying to learn one thing from you. They're not trying to ask you life's questions.
Yes.
At you, how do I make it? Because people ask me, how do I make it as a photographer? I'm like, how am I supposed to know?
It's true.
No, there's no way of knowing. You can be bad, but then get lucky. You can be really good and no one sees your work. You can do everything by the book and still you don't make it.
Maybe it starts by take a photo.
So just take a photo and then take another one and then take another one for a year. Then decide after that 1 year, do I really want to do this or not?
Dude, you know, you're 300% right. Okay, but I want to go back to your story. Man, because this thing is getting too interesting. So now you do this, you went to that challenge. You've done the wedding. But so the challenge is when you're at work, not at work, every day with a camera.
Yeah.
But then now you've got a job as an architect.
Yes.
And you've taken a wedding photo.
Yeah.
So what's
and
next?
And then, so I just keep shooting. For that time, nothing exciting is happening, but I'm shooting, I'm posting. As I'm posting on Twitter, also the Kenyan Twitter community is kind of starting at the time.
Yeah.
So I remember I had like maybe 20, 30 or 40 followers. And I'm posting even on Twitter every day because I'm tweeting as guys are talking. The people back then were people like, I think Weisler, I think still there. People like Saiton.
Yes.
In fact, Saiton is the first person who kind of, I would say, gave me a break. Because when I started shooting Nairobi and I would put it, Saiton was a big wig at that time. She had like 600 followers. And she shared my picture and said, oh my goodness, you guys need to see these pictures of Nairobi from this guy. And that day, my blog from the usual 20 views per day went up to like 200 views. And my following went up to like 100 from that 40. And then the next day it was like 200. So
those numbers.
Yeah, those numbers are just crazy. But that's how that happened. And then because of that, people started asking me. Even Saiton herself came for a shoot at my house.
Whoa.
Way before Riga.
Oh yes, by the way, Saiton is Riga's wife.
Yes, way before Riga, but she came for a shoot, which for me I was like, that's because I was like, hey, what she did in terms of what she exposed me to, those numbers, things were just going slowly. So I was really grateful. I was like, come, let's experiment for a shoot. So she came, and I'd have shoots at my house. So at that time, people started asking me. So I'd have people coming to the house, we shoot. Then I realized, if we're going to be shoot well, and I'm shooting almost every day at night, I need to make lights. So where do I go to? jimchuchu.com. jimchuchu.com, on the blog, he has these lights that they've done, which you use it to shoot photography and videos. So I make a DIY light. That's just basically a box with foil inside. You toboa shimos and then you put bulbs with bulb holders. So like 6 of them. They're all connected in series. You light, they all work out together. Inside shiny, and that's how we shoot. And do you know what I shot with that? I shot Daddy Owen's first album cover. What album was that? Because I've shot an album cover for Daddy Owen.
The one with System ya Kapungala. Was it that one?
Was it System? I did anything before that? No. I think it was System.
It was System.
It could be.
Because, yeah.
So I shot the stuff for that album.
And at that time, I know that time that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Because so that time wasn't Wondem. Wondem was before.
No.
It's System ya Kapungala.
So I shot System ya Kapungala in my living room. And do you know who was the lighting assistant?
Your wife.
It was Avril.
What?
Like when Daddy Owen came for the shoot, he came with Avril. And me, most of the time, the people coming for the shoot, because I had this light that's just a box that I can't hold, without a stand, of course.
Yes.
That I can't hold on to and shoot. So whoever you came with, I'd be like, do you mind helping? Most people are just nice.
Yeah, they're good.
And also at that time, it was a time when we were all kind of trying to make it. So even Avril, I knew she was already in it, but not yet a big star. So she held the lights. I'd be like, yeah, hold there. Okay, I shoot. I shot Daddy Owen in that. I shot Ruth Wamuyu.
So now you became known.
And then I shoot and I also designed the album cover because I'm also a designer. So I think even Daddy Owen I also designed. So I shoot and I use that for the album cover. Daddy Owen, I did that. Ruth Wamuyu, I did. Did I do any other musician? I did some shoots for DJ Mo.
So guys started knowing you as the go-to photographer.
Yeah. So some guys would come. So guys, apart from, because most guys at that time, people like Emmanuel Jambo were there, but you needed to have money to go to Emmanuel Jambo.
You were in a jumbo till today, you need money.
Yeah, so you'd come to me and I'd be like, it's just 5K. I think I was charging people 5K. I shoot, then I edit. At around 2, I sleep. 6:30, I'm up. I go to work. So I'd be shooting every day. Basically, I'd be leaving work at 5. I'm at home maybe by 6 or 6:30. When I'm home, hang out. I mean, we catch up kidogo na wifey. Someone comes in to shoot till maybe 8. At 8, now we're just hanging out, family. We have dinner, we talk, nini. My wife would go to bed at 10:30. She goes to bed. Me, I jump on the computer, I edit. I edit till maybe 2, I sleep. That was me every day. And I'm editing the pictures I shot that day for daily shoot. Because when I go back to work the next day, they have to go online onto the website. I didn't have internet in the house. So I was getting to the office like at 7. I blog.
And you've snoozed around too.
Yeah. So I blog. I was sleeping like 4 hours daily. 6, I'm up. So I get to the office 7, I blog. I see inspiration, other things. Kina Abduzido, those were my websites. African Digital Art. I go, I look at things, and then I start work at 8, I'm a 9. So that was me. At least for 2 years, that was my life.
2 years?
Yeah.
But now, was architecture beginning now to interfere with photography, or was photography beginning to interfere?
Yeah. Now everything was becoming too intertwined. Not really architecture, but being employed. So employment was interfering in my life. Now because photography was catching on and I was getting people asking me to shoot, so I would be needed. Sometimes there would be a shoot to travel, something, even not just paid shoots, but just fun shoots. Like people are traveling somewhere. Because at around that time, we had at least a good community of friends who were shooting. Kina Amunga, I had not yet met Muav.
Steve Kitot's.
But Kina Steve Kitot's.
Yeah, because you guys were from that church family, ICC.
So we used to hang out together and then we'd shoot.
Yeah.
And I started feeling like, okay. And then of course being extremely tired because sleeping 4 hours every day. I was shooting a lot of weddings also at the time. Just anything basically to make that extra cash. So things were working out.
Oh, you're doing wedding shoots now?
Yeah. Things were working out.
There was
but
more
at the
demand.
same time, there was a lot of demand. At the same time, I was very tired and getting burnt out without even much to show for it. Like it's not at the millions.
Yeah,
it's just every time I do a wedding, it's just 50K. I can shoot. Yeah.
Hey, boss, that wasn't bad.
No, that wasn't bad at all. I started because by the time I started shooting weddings, I was well known. So I was like, okay, weddings are 50K, which makes sense. The level of quality I was giving people, it was right.
Yeah. People don't even charge 50K now. I mean,
They
okay.
don't?
Oh, okay, but let's also
maybe not people who are starting out.
Yes, but let's also there's at that time there were not that many photographers. Unless you wanted creative photographers, the ones who would, the way guys do that thing after the church ceremony where they go and it's all fancy.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, so I had to make a decision about 2012, somewhere there.
What?
Of whether do I focus on my job and at least just chill and less photography, do photography maybe on the weekends only and focus on my job, or do I leave my job and focus fully on photography? So I thought about it. We spoke with wifey. She was from the beginning, she was like, you know what, do what you want, do it. If you want to quit. I've seen what it makes you feel like. If you want, go for it.
Okay, hold on. We're coming back to that. This one needs its own story.